Alright, so I am back again. I had to take the previous video down, but that is okay. Today, I wanted to do something like another ranking video like I done in my other previous video, and this ranking I wanted to do is about cryptids, not just the common ones or the most popular ones, but the more uncommon ones and the ones that need more attention, in my opinion. But we were gonna do a ranking video, and like the previous ranking video that I did, I wanted to do A, B, and C. A being like top tier, B is just like okay, and then C is like ugh. But this is all just my preference, and if you know how much I like the cryptids that I have on the list today. So this is just me being biased and just having my own opinion, and I just feel like certain cryptids need more recognition than others, because we got the big three or four, I would say, like Mothman, Bigfoot, and Nessie, and then like the Jersey Devil. But even still, I think you can just have those three, and I think that's what a whole lot of people group together when they're thinking of cryptids. But let's get into the video. First on our list, I'm gonna have pictures up here of all the ones that are listed, but the first one is the squonk. Now, I know a lot of people know of the squonk, but he is this little creature that roams around in the woods, and he goes around crying because he just finds himself ugly, and he's just crying, and you can find a puddle or a trail of tears leading to him. Now, if I'm correct or not, I wouldn't say he probably first appeared, but he appeared in this book series that was written, I'd say like in the 1900s or a little bit earlier than that. But he first appeared in this book, and it was just like these little stories and tales of really weird things, and it was just like passed around certain people, especially people who worked in the woods and stuff. But the squonk appeared, and this man found him, and he's like, well, I'll catch this creature, take it back to town, and I'll prove of this creature's existence. But when he captured it, he heard it cry and cry until it faded away, and when he checked the bag, it was wet. So apparently the squonk can cry, but it can also dissolve into like a puddle of tears and to get away. And I just think, in a sense, there should be more like squonk lovers. I really do love the squonk. He's just really cute, and in certain depictions of him or drawings, he just looks like a pig with warts, and I love pigs. But I would say that the squonk goes in maybe like A tier, just because I want to see more of the squonk, really. Alright, next on our list is the chupacabra. Now, I would say the chupacabra is maybe the top 5 cryptids that a lot of people know of. It did gain a lot of attention early, like 2010s, I would say. But the chupacabra first appeared, I would say, near like Puerto Rico. Fact check me on that. But he first appeared, and there was a bunch of livestock being drained and being killed over a course of so many days, and it got a lot of people worried and concerned. And then apparently there's some eyewitnesses, a lot of it changed, like it was this lizard thing, and I think at one point someone said it had wings, and now over the years it has changed more into like people depicting it as like a dog with mange, basically. But the earlier depictions of it was like a weird alien lizard. And I'm gonna put the chupacabra at A. I don't want to put so many of them in A, but I think the chupacabra, its original design was a lot better compared to it being a dog with mange. And the alien aspect, I always loved like the reptilian and alien-like cryptids. It's just something about it that looks humanoid, but it's not, and it's really weird. But the reason I believe why the mange dog look happened was because in, like I said, early like probably 2010s to like 15, there was a very popular video. You could probably find it if you look it up, but it was of I believe a policeman just driving around, and they just see this weird animal on the side of the road, and their dash cam got it, and it just looks like a dog with mange. Then apparently there was this woman who came out and said, I have the chupacabra's body, or something weird. So fact or faked. I have mentioned them in a previous video, but they did do an investigation, and they went out to this woman's house, and apparently she had this thing stuffed. I'll probably show a picture up here, but it was stuffed. And they done like a DNA test, and apparently like some stuff were inconclusive. But probably that's why a lot of people now just think of a dog with mange. But the original design, I love it. It's really weird. Next on our list are the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Now, the Fresno Nightcrawlers, I just don't have a whole lot to say about them. I love their design. They just look like walking pants. But essentially, yet again, fact or faked, came out. This is where I found out about the Fresno Nightcrawlers, but fact or faked did an episode where this man sent them a video saying, hey, I got this home security system and it picked up this weird thing. Now, fact or faked, if you do not know, they go out and kind of like debunk certain things, and not really debunked, but they try to go out, and if this video looks like authentic enough or weird enough, they try to replicate it and see if it was hoaxed or not. So when they saw the Fresno Nightcrawlers, they're like, oh, this is really cool. So they go out, and the man explains that he just saw this thing on his camera, his dogs kept on barking, and this would happen so many nights. And so they did try to work some type of like puppet mechanic to see if this was a hoax or not, or it could be replicated. But I think at the end of it, they said it couldn't. They got pretty close, but they said it was really weird. Then I think what got really popular was, I think, park footage. I might put it up here if I'm able to, but it was a park security footage, and it showed like these like 2 or 3 things, look like pants with the legs with them, but walking down a hillside. And I believe that's where the Fresnos kind of gained popularity. It's when it got passed around. But I'm gonna put them at B because I love their design and stuff, but it's just, I think it was later proven to be a hoax. I'm not sure about that, but I think it was. So, a hoax or not, you know, I can have fun with it. You know, I don't take this stuff too seriously. You know, I just have fun with it. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I can still love the idea of a Fresno, or just like the design of it. So it is going at B. All right, next on our list is the Goat Man. Now, some people, I believe a lot of people know about the Goat Man, but the Goat Man is originally from Kentucky, Louisville to be exact. It is originally called the Pope Lick Monster. Now, there is a festival. I want to go. Maybe one day I'll do a video about that. But the Goat Man appeared, and it started appearing on train tracks. There is a specific train track, I believe in Louisville, that people kind of point to as that's its original spot. But what usually happens is if you travel on these train tracks, and apparently there's no like train, and apparently this goat-like humanoid comes out and tries to kill you or pushes you off, and a lot of people blame it on like, oh well, they were too high off the ground on this train bridge, and a train came and nowhere to go. They get like hit by the train, or they jump off to their death, just blaming it on the train. But some people blame it on a Goat Man. Now I'm gonna put Goat Man at A because I just love his design. I just feel like the Goat Man needs more recognition compared to like the other big baddies, but Mothman obviously, but I love his design. It's just simple. It reminds me, you know, of just a satyr, just a Pan, the god, Greek god, I believe. But Goat Man, I love it. He has an axe, and he's a Kentucky cryptid. I love Kentucky cryptids. I think they need more recognition compared to other places. But I just find it a very interesting thing. I believe also it said like he had like hypnosis, or he would try and get in people's heads while he was on the bridge. But on the internet side of things, there were popular stories coming out at the time about the goat man, but it kind of took its little twist and stuff, saying like this goat man thing can transform and kind of mimic humans and easily slip into like groups of hikers and can just kind of deceive them and stuff, and you can like see who's not human by their smell and stuff and their behavior. And that got really popular, so I think that kind of like merged with the cryptid goat man, and it kind of just became its own little thing. But other than that, I just really love the goat man, and he's my recognition. And frogman. Now, a lot of people know the frogman, but I just really love the idea of a 3-foot toad. Now, seeing it in person, yes, that would be horrifying, but for any person that's kind of like into cottagecore and stuff, that would probably be their dream. But the Loveland Frogman appeared in Ohio when a policeman was driving on a bridge, and he just sees this 3-foot frog with a wand. Some depictions of it was a wand or not, but he said there was his little goons with other little frogmen just with this dude with the wand, which I think he assumed was a leader because it had the wand, it was sparkling and stuff. But they were kind of talking to one another, and then they like jumped over the bridge. And later, apparently, they caught the frogman by saying it was this iguana with its tail cut off. But there's also a festival at, I believe, up in Ohio. I want to go to that, but I just put frogman at B because I don't want to put so many cryptids up in A, but B because it's just a frog. But I love his little idea of just like being a 3-foot frog and being magical, apparently. And he is one of my top cryptids that I like. But also there was a movie to come out about the frogman. I forget what year it came out in. I'll just put a poster right here. I actually got a poster, but I watched it. I believe it's on Tubi. So if you just have an hour or so of free time, just go and watch that, because it takes a really weird and unique approach of the frogman, but it's just something fun to watch. But I love the little idea of him being a magical toad, so I'm gonna put him at B just because I don't want to fill up the A spot. But as you can tell, I do have like I made Mothman. But I made a bracelet, and it has his little wand and stuff and the frogman. Alright, next up is Bearilla. Now, I'm gonna put a picture up here, and it does look exactly like its name, but in actuality, Bearilla looks more, I would say, akin to like a werewolf. But Bearilla is also another Kentucky cryptid in Mount Sterling, which is like a 45-minute drive from where I'm at. I actually went up to Mount Sterling, not to hunt Bearilla, but just for a ghost walk, which if anyone is near the Mount Sterling area, I do recommend, because it's such a small little cute town. Really nice, really peaceful, and just something to drive by. And now Bearilla, I don't know much about Bearilla because there was not a whole lot. I believe there was a documentary made about him in the early 2000s, but I put him at C because I just don't know much about him. I don't hear a whole lot about Bearilla, and he's kind of just ominous in a sense that I just don't know much about Bearilla. But there's probably other people that know more about him than me. It just sounds like a werewolf, and a lot of the time I'm not a big werewolf fan of cryptids. I just ain't because they can kind of just range to just being a werewolf. That's it. But with Bearilla, I think it's a little more interesting because it's kind of like a Sasquatch and a werewolf mix. It's just a lot bigger, broader, and there's like different depictions of him. But I do put him at C just for that reason. Next one is the Kelly Green Goblins. Now, as you can tell, there's a theme that most of these are like Kentucky cryptids. I might do a video talking about them more, but the Kelly Goblins, which are originally in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Now, there was a farm, a Kelly's farm, and one night, back in the 50s, I believe, this family was in their house, and usually back then, like on farmlands and stuff, the house was like smaller and people gathered usually in the living room, like big families. So this was just a typical night. And all of a sudden they just see aliens just pop in and out from their windows, and they decide to shoot at them. But every time they say that, they shoot at them, they kind of bounce down and then bounce back up. But originally, the Kelly goblins weren't green. They were actually more like a gray alien, an amphibian gray alien, if I remember correctly. That one of the family members was outside on the porch, and they just see this alien with its hands up like this, just floating towards them, and apparently its skin looked like it had armor on it. Now, that's a little freaky, and I think they're about like 3 foot to 4 foot, kind of short, but still, that's kind of freaky and scary to just hover towards you. Anything that hovers towards you, I just immediately kind of freak out, because that's just not natural. But they said they were on the roof, they were around the windows, and they basically shot up their house, defending themselves. And the next day, they went to the police. They took statements, and the police just thought, oh, they just got drunk and just saw stuff. But when they investigated the farm property, they did notice that there was a lot of bullet holes in the walls. So there was obviously something going on, but they just figured, oh, they're just shooting at each other. Now, all of their statements were the same, pretty much, and they told them to do little drawings of these aliens, and I'm gonna probably put some up here. But they all kind of came back relatively the same. Some little details differ, but, still the same, nonetheless. So I'm going to put them at B, because, like I said, I don't want to fill all of it up with A, but I really do love the Kelly Goblins. I just love the idea of it just being a little thing, like I said, with the Frogman and stuff. I just love the idea of this short little thing running around. But I don't like the fact that a lot of newspapers, when having cryptid sightings, they change certain details to just make people like it more, like making the goblins more green to fit that goblin appearance. But it was more alien because it was gray and an amphibian so I just really like the design, but I'm gonna put it at B. There is also a festival, they just reopened it, I believe, in Hopkinsville, and I want to go. But I'm just putting them at B, but they are still one of my favorite cryptids. Last on our list is dogmen. Now, dogmen, I believe, is becoming more popular in recent years, but especially with Kentucky, land between the lakes, a lot of people have been going there and investigating and trying to see if dogman is real. And also, I believe up in Wisconsin, there is a supposed werewolf or dog-like creature up there. But the dogman with the land between the lakes, I am putting him at, I would believe, B, because it's just, I was about to put him at C, but there's a lot of stories and a lot of accounts, and a lot of it just seems really fictitious. Maybe because originally in the land between the lakes, it's really pretty place, but people would go and camp. But apparently one night a family is in a camper and they get attacked by this dog man creature, and it kills them. It rips off the door, it does all this damage, it kills them. Police come in and investigate, and apparently there was a cover-up. And anyone who goes and investigates and stuff, they can't find nothing because of a cover-up happening. But just over the years, I think that caused a lot of tourists and attractions to pop up, because land between the lakes kind of feed into that idea of oh, there's a dog man here. But with it, I like it a little bit more, because I wouldn't say it differs from a werewolf, but apparently these dogmen have been popping up more lately in recent years, and they're more hostile and violent compared to other cryptids. And just the idea, I guess, of seeing this cracked out, skinny, dog humanoid thing in the woods just looking at you, yeah, that can be pretty scary. But I'm putting them at B. I almost put them at C because a lot of it just seems like people are coming around and just like throwing stories out, and they're like, oh, this happened, and they can't back check it or anything. And the Land Between the Lakes, I know of a few people that here on YouTube actually go out and investigate that place, and there's other stuff there, like there's a vampire hotel or something. That's interesting, but it just seems like dogmen are popping up more, and I think growing more in popularity. But I just wanted to mention him because it's just, like I said, a skinny little dog man just roaming the woods, and it's just like just really odd and makes you like more scared of the woods or less unnerved by it. But I'm putting him there. So that is today's video. It's, I don't know how long it is, but hopefully it's long enough for you to like put on in the background or something. Next weekend I am actually going to a convention, and I want to do a vlog for that, but for the meantime I just wanted to put something out for, you know, people to have before that bigger video. But I wanted to come on here and talk about not lesser known, but just cryptids that I think need more recognition and that I like personally and have my own opinions about. And I just love cryptids, as you can tell. I just love cryptids. I actually got a Mothman tattoo on my leg. I'll probably put a picture of it up here, but I can talk about cryptids for a long time, and I wanted to do a video about it. But for the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos. I don't have a whole lot on this channel just yet, but it's like 4 of them. But if you're interested in seeing more content from me, subscribe. Just follow along and watch my other videos and just have something fun to watch. I just kind of have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next time.